Hi, future Lancers. Welcome to Communication, Media, and Film at the University of Windsor. Congratulations on your offer, and I really look forward to getting to know you in the fall and throughout your degrees. So I'm Kyle Asquith. I'm a professor in the Department of Communication, Media, and Film. I'm also the department's academic advisor. This means that I help students with things like course selection. I also help them to explore and narrow their interests in the larger realms of media and film, and generally give them guidance on planning the academic side of their university experience. So today's session is to talk about what your first semester will look like. I'm going to go over the required courses for your major, explain how you have some elective options, give you some additional tips for course scheduling, and finally, let you know where you can turn to for additional help and support as you plan your first semester. So when doing a communication, media, and film major, there is a required course called CMAF 1010 Introduction to Media and Society. This course is a large sort of bird's eye overview of all things communication and media. In this course, you'll get a general sense of the importance of media, of course, in our everyday lives, in our politics, in our culture, in our economy. You'll learn about media industries, media technologies, and generally the media culture in which we live. This is a course that will also introduce you to communication media as something that academics research, academics such as myself. This is, I said, is a sort of overview course. It is required for all CMF students. It is in fact required to go on to further courses in the degree. So this is why it's important to take right away in your first year. There are much more specific courses you'll take related to communication and media, but this one is required first. There is another required course in our department called Film 1100. The title of this course is Film Production 1. This covers the F in CMF. This is an introduction to all things film, the process, the art of filmmaking, a little bit on how the film industry works. This course importantly includes some hands-on activities as well. Very similar to the Introduction to Media and Society course. This is required for, first of all CMF students. It's required so you can go on to take more specific courses. If you're interested in film production and filmmaking, you'll be able to go on and take courses that are a little bit narrower in terms of courses just on screenwriting, for example, or documentary production. But this one is required first. Third, there is a course called Effective Writing 1. GART 1500. This is a required writing course. This helps you with your written communication skills, and it is also required for all CMF degrees, and very important that you take in your first semester in the fall. Now, those are 3 required courses I just went through. A typical full-time course load is 5 courses, so that leaves us room for 2 more. All right, so for the final 2 courses, this is where electives come in. As you go on in your degree, you'll find that in your second year and beyond, you'll be primarily taking communication, media, and film courses, but fewer and fewer electives. But first year is really a great chance to take electives. You'll be able to take 2 within your very first semester here. As it's noted here, you may choose courses from areas such as arts, language, or science. But really, you can also take any course as long as it's outside of communication, media, and film. By the end of the degree, there are certain requirements that you take a certain number of electives. And we really recommend that you take these in your first year, because university is a chance to just explore ideas for the sake of exploring ideas and to expand your boundaries and, explore an area that you didn't think you would be interested in even. So let me summarize that. There are 3 required courses. There are 2 within the department. The 2 within the department are CMAF 1010 Introduction to Media and Society and Film 1100 Film Production 1. The 3rd required course is the GART 1500 Effective Writing course. And then that leaves room for those 2 electives from areas such as arts, language, science, or any other subject outside of communication, media, and film. Now, for students who are pursuing the communication, media, and film major in addition to a B of Ed, this is the Concurrent Communication, Media, and Film program. The requirements are similar with one important difference. So the CMAF 1010 Introduction to Media and Society course, that is also required. The Film 1100 Film Production 1 course is also required. The GART 1500 course, Effective Writing 1, is once again required. This is the additional course for concurrent students, that is, students who are pursuing the dual degree of Communication, Media, and Film, as well as a Bachelor of Education. In your first year, you will take Education 1199. This is Teaching and Learning Part 1. This is a sort of introduction to being a teacher and being an education professional. I should add that this is not actually a full course. This is rather a 50-hour course that's spread over both the fall and winter of your first year. Consider this more of an orientation to the education portion of your degree. So it's a little bit different than all of the other courses I've been mentioning. Once again, there's still room for 2 electives. So in addition to those required courses, there are still room for 2 elective courses from areas such as arts, language, science, or any other subject outside of communication, media, and film. So let me pull that all together. For students pursuing the Bachelor of Education and Communication, Media, and Film, the concurrent program, there are the major courses of CMAF 1010, Introduction, Media, and Society, Film 1100, Film Production 1, Education 1199, Teaching and Learning Part 1. There is the GART 1500, Effective Writing 1. And then there's room for those 2 electives. There's room for 2 electives because, once again, the Education 1199 course is not considered a full course. It is in addition to your full-time course load of 5 other courses. Now, just generally, I have some additional advice for scheduling your first semester of courses. Number 1, be realistic when it comes to scheduling expectations. Now, what I mean by scheduling expectations is that some students come into university very excited, actually very strategic about getting all of their courses planned into only a few days of the week. So they have days in the week where they have no courses, no lectures occurring. There are other students that pride themselves on going through their degree without having to take an 8:30 a.m. course or various other kind of scheduling preferences along those lines. I say be realistic in the sense of, although you might have certain preferences of times of the day when a course is more preferable to you, don't let those drive your course enrollment decisions. For required courses, those are required courses. And as I mentioned, you cannot actually, in fact, proceed to other courses in the major unless you have those done. So, you have to take those regardless of the day of the week or the time they are offered. But even for electives, do not let the time of an elective sort of decide whether you think that's a good course or not. Don't worry about trying to cram everything into a short period of time or avoid 8:30 a.m. courses. My advice to you is take the courses that are required and take the courses that interest you the most. You are much better off taking a course that you're interested in at 8:30 a.m. than taking an elective that doesn't really interest you, that just happened to occur at a convenient time in your schedule. So speaking of that, that brings me number 2. For the electives, look for courses that really sound interesting to you personally. Once again, first year is a great chance to expand your boundaries and take courses from a variety of areas across the university, whether that's environmental science, whether that's philosophy, or whether that's an introductory business or marketing course. It's a great opportunity for that. In fact, you may even discover a second interest. Students often will add a minor, and some students even add a second major or a double major. For most, this is not something they started their degree intending to do. Rather, what happened was they took some elective in first year and discovered that was really interesting. And then they ended up going on to pursue a minor or even a double major. University of Windsor makes it actually very easy to add minors. And with the communication, media, and film degree, it's very easy to even add a second major, a double major. Now, that brings me to my third point. Recognize it's okay if your interests change or evolve after starting your degree. I get it. It can be quite stressful picking university courses for the first time. And so realize it's okay. It's okay if you take something and it turns out it doesn't really interest you, even if your major changes. A lot of students will, not a lot, but at least some will change majors after their first semester. And as I said, more commonly, students will add a minor or a second major, and that's okay. It is very flexible. It is easy to do that in a degree. And it's also okay because you have a lot of help for these decisions. We are here to help. At the University of Windsor, you've got a lot of support. There are academic advisors that serve the entire university. Each faculty has academic advisors, and in fact, most departments have academic advisors. As I said, I am the one for communication, media, and film. We are available to help you as you plan your first semester, and we're able to help you as you grapple with decisions like, maybe this doesn't really interest me, or maybe I found this other thing that interests me and I want to add a second major or minor. You'll have that kind of support from me and other academic advisors throughout your degree. For now, for helping you plan your first semester, please make sure you go to the website future.uwindsor.ca/plan-your-program. That is where you will find your guide to registration, including some of the same information I went through in these slides. You will also find contact information for staff and academic advisors within each department on that website. Thanks for your attention. I look forward to meeting you in September.